Ready. Play.
I mean, it was difficult because the conditions, particularly at the beginning of the match, you know, it is quick here during the day, and the way that he's serving, like, there's not many guys on the tour that are serving consistently at that speed, but on the first serve, but he, you know, on the second serve, I mean, he did start to miss a few as the match went on, but he was serving like, you know, 180, 190 kilometers an hour on the second serve, and you're just kind of having to react. You don't feel like you have much say in, you know, his service games, and then obviously there's a bit of pressure on you, you know, when you're serving, and yeah, I did well to compete at the end of the second set. Got tight. He had break points, I think, in the 3-all or 4-all game in the second, and hung on there, and then yeah, I mean, I did well to carry the momentum over at the beginning of the third set after, you know, winning a tight second, and you know, a few tight moments again in the third. On that 4-3 game, I had 30-all, and you know, came in behind the forehand, which was, you know, I kept trying to do the right things, and it paid off in the end.
Next question. Congratulations, Andy. 2 weeks in a row, grueling matches in Qatar, also here at the beginning of Dubai. Does it give you more confidence, or how do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, winning matches is what gives confidence. I mean, you know, a lot of people, I don't know, whether it's like psychologists or, you know, believe that you can improve your confidence by working hard away from the court and, you know, training hard and working on all the right things. But, you know, the number one thing in sport that builds confidence is winning matches. That's my belief and what I've experienced, you know, and yeah, getting through it. Well, obviously a close match today. Last week was good. I got a win. Obviously lost a very close one against a, you know, player who went on to, you know, play a brilliant tournament, and yeah, there's been some signs of progress, I would say, the last couple of weeks. It's not obviously exactly where I wanted to be, but it's better than where it was.
Congratulations, Andy. I just wanted to ask you about the conversations that take place in your head in a match like today's, and also like one like in last week's, where you were playing, you know, really good until almost to the end.
Yeah.
So what are the conversations that are going on in your head? And is that, but does that dictate your confidence? Is that something that translates onto the court?
Well, I mean, I think it can. I mean, it's obviously, I think every single person, this is not just athletes, but everyone experiences, I think, doubt, you know, and will question yourself about whether you've made the right decision or done the right thing, or whether you're able to win the match or able to keep going. And then, yeah, then you obviously have a choice what to do with those thoughts. And I think that's one of the hardest things with sports, is that you experience that lots of times, I think, during the day and during matches. And yeah, I think, yeah, how you talk to yourself can influence that, you know, a bit. And that's where, you know, for me, I've always felt better when I've shown my frustration. The challenge for me is making sure the frustration doesn't continue through into the next point. So if I'm still thinking about what's just happened and what's in my head, is I'm not annoyed that I lost the last point, that is when it can have a detrimental effect on my tennis. But when I show my frustration, get it out, and then, you know, focus on the next point and what I'm trying to do, is when I feel my best on the court, not when I'm quiet and not saying anything. I feel really uncomfortable.
Andy, congratulations on your 500th hard court win. Is this your most successful match in terms of getting calls overturned?
It was pretty good, I think. Yeah, I did a good job with that. The good thing is that because the court's pretty new, you can see all the marks quite clearly. And usually here as well, because there's like almost like a little bit of sand in the air, you can kind of see the marks even better on the court because of that, which helps. But yeah, there was a few tough calls today that went against me, which I challenged successfully. Maybe that might have been, I don't know what the success rate was, but it felt pretty good.
I remember 5 or 6 points that you overturned.
Yeah, it felt like that to me as well. I mean, obviously, with the way that he plays and how hard he hits the ball, it's easy, I guess, to make mistakes because, you're certainly at 220 kilometers an hour. I can see why calls get missed, but yeah, thankfully the Hawkeye's there to try and help, and I didn't waste any challenges today.
Andy, could you shed a light on the evolution of tennis? I mean, when you first started, we had players with obvious strengths and weaknesses like forehand or maybe the serve. Nowadays, we are having more complete players, and like Sinner, Alcaraz, even Menchik, you played with last week. So how do you see this evolution?
Yeah, we've actually been having a few discussions with my team about that and some of the players here the last few days, and wondering like if some of the players from 20-25 years ago, like if they were playing today with the equipment that they had, like where they would be like ranking wise and stuff. And it's obviously impossible to say, we'll never know, but the game has obviously changed. A lot of the players from 25-30 years ago were obviously playing a certain body, a lot up at the net, and there was also like almost like quite clear like game styles almost, or players that like particular surfaces. So you had players that loved playing indoors and on grass and on the faster courts, and then you had players that were like clay court specialists, whereas now, because the surfaces have become more similar, is that you maybe don't have that as much, and a lot of the game styles have become kind of similar. I don't necessarily agree that players are like all around better players, but the majority of tennis is played from the baseline and from the back of the court, and I believe that now, because of the balls and the equipment and everything and strings, is that the players are so good from the back of the court. But I think that that's improved, and moving, I mean, some of the guys at the top of the game, the way they move now is unbelievable. But then I don't think players now play as well up at the net as they used to. But I think that's how the game has evolved. I don't think, because of the surfaces and how slow they are, it's easy to be successful playing up at the net, so there's less of a need for players to be strong at the net, whereas 25-30 years ago you had extremely quick courts, strings were not as forgiving as the ones today, and you had to play up at the net more, so that was what players practiced, and they were better at the net than the players now. So would be interesting to see someone like a Becker, playing against, some of the top players in the world, to see what would happen, because I don't know for sure. I just think that the courts have made it so hard to play that style of tennis.
All right, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.